This is the Initiation into Hermetics magic system. Now, this one is very interesting to me. This is a three-book series, and there's a fourth book which also serves as a prologue for the three-book series. This is by Franz Barden. Here's a picture of Franz Barden. Now, his lifetime took place before World War II, and I believe ended just after, if I remember correctly. Now, this book is split up into two sections. The first part of the book is entirely theory, the principles behind everything, and the basic foundational knowledge that you'll know, like the Akasha or etheric principle, the principles of all the elements, karma, the law of cause and effect, principles about the human body, principles about the physical material plane, the solar astral body, the astral plane, the spirit, the mental plane, truth, religion, God, asceticism. It gives you everything about their beliefs on these categories. The second part of the book is all practice, all meditations that you can do. And they have a plethora of exercises. I believe there's 10 steps, but there's tons of exercises that you could do. I mean, this could take years for somebody to complete. Now, this is the most important part I find to read in all areas of magic, and it's to how do they specifically define magic? Because it's always nice to look at it from their perspective, because if you try to come in with any negative or any other connotations from other belief systems, like it'll be easy to misunderstand what they're saying. And so we want to have that firm foundation on what they think or what they believe it to be. It says here, many sects, religious and the like, as well as schools of thought, such as philosophy, understand nothing more under the word magic than sorcery and conspiracy with the dark forces. Therefore, it is not surprising that many people are somewhat apprehensive at the mere mention of the word. Prestigitators, illusionists, charlatans, so called stage magicians, and whatever else they may be called, often misuse the concept of magic, which circumstance contributes immensely to the fact that magical knowledge has always been regarded with a certain contempt. Since time immemorial, the Magi were always considered to be the highest initiates. The word magic originated from them. The so-called sorcerers are not initiates. Instead, they are only imitators of the mysteries who exploit the ignorance and gullibility of the individual and of an entire nation in order to achieve their selfish goals through deception and dishonesty. The true magician despises any such actions. Magic is in reality a sacred science. It is, in the truest sense of the term, the knowledge of all knowledge, because it teaches us how to understand and utilize the universal laws. When you are dealing with true initiation, there is no difference between magic and mysticism or any other similar concepts, regardless of whatever names may be used in the prevailing ideology. They must be proceeded with on the same basis in accordance with the same universal laws. In consideration of the universal laws, of the polarity of good and evil, of active and passive, of light and shadow, any science can be employed for good or evil purposes. For instance, the actual purpose of a bread knife is to cut bread, but it can become a dangerous weapon in the hands of a murderer. Everything depends upon the characteristics of the individual. This principle applies to all areas of occult knowledge. So that's how Franz Barden describes magic, and I find that pretty interesting. I kind of agree that magic is the knowledge of all knowledge. It is a sacred science per se. It's definitely hitting a bunch of foundational principles that you find in other areas. Like for example, I have another book over here. I have the Kabbalion, another Hermetic philosophy, which I think is a foundational text if you're trying to study any occult philosophy. I would definitely say any magic system is an advanced text. So to understand a lot of these concepts, the Kabbalion gives you the 7 principles that you need to know. And those are the principle of mentalism, the principle of correspondence, the principle of vibration, the principle of polarity, the principle of cause and effect, the principle of rhythm, the principle of gender.